It's a great day today for the whole world that we are celebrating this Diwali Puja in America. It's very important. Here, where people have been able to earn money, to have lots of money sometimes, and are also people who are ruined completely because of money. When we talk of Diwali, we should understand that why on a Diwali day we have all these lights. What is the combination of lights and the Lakshmi who was born in the water, who stands in the water? Why this combination is there? She was standing in the water, as we know, a symbol of prosperity that is built in the human awareness that he can prosper. Animals don't prosper. They all have their maryadas. Trees have their maryadas. Only the human being can prosper. But if they have no sense of their own maryadas, then this very ruinous and ruinous for the whole world. So the lights are there that all the people who have Lakshmi's blessings must enlighten themselves, must have lights, and they should enlighten others also. But actually, as soon as they get the Lakshmi, so called, they become absolutely blind. And they forget what is behind the blessings of the Lakshmi. First of all, as we see how this symbol of Lakshmi represents, I have told you before also, that a person who has Lakshmi should be very generous. One hand she is giving to others. A person who is miserly with Lakshmi is absolutely against the principle of Lakshmi. And such a miserly person never can enjoy the blessings. And gradually he starts becoming poorer and poorer. When you start giving with the left hand, that means you have opened the door for your Lakshmi to come in. Then comes the grace of Lakshmi also. And this grace of Lakshmi also has another aspect, that you must give protection. Those who are people with money should protect like this. Protect whom? Protect the people who are in trouble, people who are having lots of cruelty on them, orphan children who need your help. All these should be looked into, and the protection to the people who are dependent on. So this has to be done with the right hand. That's the symbol of Lakshmi. And there are two hands up there which you have seen, with a pink colored lotus. Pink colored lotus suggests that you must have love in your heart. Pink is the symbol of love and compassion. As I have told you before also, a person who has Lakshmi should have a house where everybody is invited. Like the lotus invites all the insects, even the beetles who have got lots of thorns, and the beetle comes and sleeps the whole night very comfortably, and the lotus closes its petals so that the beetle has no trouble, be comforted. So, these houses must accept guests, any kind they are, and they should be treated very well, just like as if the gods have come into your house. I have seen people who are poor are much more hospitable than the people who are rich. Same way about the countries. Countries which are poor are much more hospitable than the countries which are rich. It's very surprising that rich countries have their immigrations, they have all problems of avoiding people, guests in their own countries. So they are going really in the wrong way as far as the Lakshmi symbols are concerned. Another very important symbol is that she stands on a lotus. It's all glorified, all beautiful. Lotus is carrying her, but lotus suggests that she throws no pressures, no imbalances, no power around. But in these countries where people have money, they try to throw power all around. The one who has money becomes the more powerful person. Everything becomes power then. Money is power, love is power. This power has no divinity in it, but a power of oppression and aggression and self-importance. All these symbols of the Lakshmi are very convincing that today when we say that somebody has got money or some country has nation, they are just the opposite of what they should have. The reason is they are not enlightened. They have to have lights in their heart, as we see that on Diwali, there has to be a light. And without enlightenment, these rich people, so-called Lakshmipatis, become nonsensical. That's why there has to be the light. Because with Lakshmi, one can become absolutely blind. So-called Lakshmi doesn't give you proper understanding as to what it means that you have got money, that you are rich. What does that mean? That's why one has to have the lights. Unless and until you have light of divinity within you, you won't understand the great symbol of Lakshmi. But in Sahaja, we believe that the Lakshmi must become Mahalakshmi. Man has to become greater, Mahamana. What does that mean? That she has to become the Mahalakshmi. Mahalakshmi is a deity which makes you absolutely satisfied with whatever you have. Complete satisfaction. Not only that, but you start thinking that whatever I have is not sufficient. I have to have something else, not money, not more cars, not more televisions and things, but I have to have something else that will give me real satisfaction. You know, the law of economics is that you are never satisfied. Nothing is satiable. So you go on buying from one to another, to another, to another, another. But when the Mahalakshmi principle shines in you, then you do not want any more. You want to give it to others, and you want to enjoy your generosity. That is the first sign that you are moving now from Lakshmi to Mahalakshmi. Till the Lakshmi principle, you were blind, and whatever it was, you were more asking for more things and more things, more things. After this is over, then you have the light, enlightenment. When you have done all the four things properly, that is generosity, protection, and hospitality, and compassion, then you get into another mood of movement, because you know nothing is satisfying. Nothing is satiable. Running from one thing to another, then that to another, that to another. And when such people get collective, they start ways and methods of attracting people, how they could extract money. There are so many ways. Like in our Italy, when I was there, I wanted to buy shoes. I went to the shop, and they had only one type of shoe. That kind I don't wear. So said, no, now only this year this kind. Only this kind. Every shop will have this. I said, people have no sense. They have no light within them. So, next year you will have another style. Whatever is produced is always new. And these shoes that were made last year or before that are put into some sort of a junk. It's a very big business. So it is the big business that starts in this manner, and many people become bankrupt. Many people completely lose their dignity and fall into the trap of immorality. So this Lakshmi principle, if you forget, in a proper way, you cannot go to the Mahalakshmi principle. And in the Mahalakshmi way, you can find another kind of personalities. Because if you have the light in your heart, then you start seeing that this money business is of no satisfaction. You go on changing from one to another. So then you think, what should we do? With this light in your heart, you find out that you have to follow now the principle of Mahalakshmi. Otherwise, you will be lost. So when you think of Mahalakshmi, you start seeking. Seeking the way by which you can really have a real satisfaction of life. I mean, a country like America, where people have so much money and everything, they have also the maximum number of seekers. Maximum. When I first came to America, I was shocked that though there was Mahalakshmi principle, they did not know what to seek. And they all followed all kinds of false gurus. They had become mad, I think, because they couldn't understand what is to be followed. For that, they started following all kinds of false gurus, who were themselves slaves of Lakshmi, Lakshmi Tattva. Slaves in the sense who were against Lakshmi Tattva. And that's how they all were lost. So many of them were lost in this country. And I was shocked the way they were following wrong type of people. I just thought that there's something really needed to be done to this country. And for 9 years, I never came to America. I'm sorry for that, because the seekers were moving in the opposite direction. They were not in the understanding as to what the seeking is for. What are you seeking? Somebody came saying that I'm 16-year-old and I can make you all realize souls. And I'm told that he put some vermilion kumkum in a gun and blasted it. And people felt they were all already have gone to heavens. Such idiotic behavior, how it came into their heads, I don't know. How did they become so idiotic? I can't understand. So I went back and I said, I can't help these people much. Then if kind of another fashion started. Like if you went to any party or anything, they would say, now see, another guru has come. He's much cheaper. But also there's a sale on. And I would say, look at these women and men who are supposed to be the leaders of the world. And how can they talk like this? It was a very common thing among the rich people to talk like that. This country has been blessed with very, very great people, as you know. Very great people. For Abraham Lincoln, what sort of a man he was. Or even say George Washington. All these people showed the quality of Mahalakshmi. But they didn't much think of them, and they started working out a new method of capturing the whole world. Because then the idea of power came into there, that with money we can purchase everything. We can make everybody dance to our tune if we have money. All this attitude towards money and human beings was absolutely satanic, to such an extent that their own country started getting ruined. What happened to the family system? What has happened? Why the family got ruined? Because of their wrong ideas about Lakshmi principle. The women got lots of money out of divorce. So I met one lady, she had divorced her husband 8 times from this country, and now I am told she's divorced the 9th one. And she has become very rich. But she has no shame. And she's telling everybody that get a divorce, that's the best way. That's the advantage of coming to America. So what is the problem? That human beings don't have enlightenment. And if they get money, and if they are hankering after things, they have to go to hell, no doubt about it, and do all kinds of things which was never done in the history of this world. I need not tell you all the absurd, nonsensical things they do. Then started a negative force of drug, drinking, and all kinds of. I mean, such blindness, such stupidity that you can't understand, as if their brains were completely curtailed by the activity of money making. I have seen people choosing their suits and clothes that when they will die, what they are going to wear. It sounds funny. Even their dog dies, they make such elaborate arrangements. They choose even their coffin, which one they would like to use for burial. So, with the money, a new problem started was the choice. What choice you have? And people played with that choice. They can befool you and tell you what is the best. I don't know why, but moneyed people are mostly idiotic, if not very immoral. Idiotic, absolutely idiotic. Anybody can befool them. So, God knows what is the speciality that the people who are very rich can be very cunning, can be very immoral, can be self-destroying, but mostly they are idiotic people. Because the way they talk, you don't know where to look. What they say about things, you don't understand. So, then it's become the country of idiots and stupid people. And you don't know how to deal with them and how to talk to them about the higher life. This Lakshmi Tattva has to become a much bigger principle, which we call as the emancipated personality. Or we can say person endowed with Mahalakshmi principle. Such a person may be cheated by others, may be troubled by others, but such a person has its own inner power to overcome all such hurdles. So this Mahalakshmi principle should be established. But one would say, why? What is the advantage of having Mahalakshmi principle? When the Mahalakshmi principle comes, then there are 9 Lakshmis which are described, Navadha, 9, which get completely manifested in a human being. One of them, as we call as Gruha Lakshmi. Gruha Lakshmi means the family. The wife becomes a very wonderful person. She doesn't object to things, she doesn't react, but she is very sensible and she builds up all her children in a beautiful manner. On the contrary, where she is not a Gruha Lakshmi, she takes pride in working out something like men. Means to her, her job is important, her bank balance is important. But the real bank balance of a Graha Lakshmi is her family and her children. If she doesn't have that, she will be just thinking that she's very great, she can compete with this man or that. Women don't understand that their greatest capacity is to love. How is it that Lakshmi is a woman and all the goddesses are women? And what is the quality of these goddesses? Is to bestow blessings on people of their own nature, of their own qualities. So to think that we are better off than men because we have more money is the greatest idiocy. You may have money, but your children will be ruined. Your family will be ruined. When you make a good family, then you create a beautiful, very beautiful universe around. And universes after universes like this can create a beautiful universe in the whole world. There's nothing to sacrifice, but to enjoy everything. As I said, you enjoy your hospitality, you enjoy your generosity, which you do not feel is a misery or a trouble to you, but you just enjoy it. At least I enjoy it. If I can give something to someone, that's the greatest blessing. So, the idiotic people, they believe that generosity is stupidity, while they are the real stupid people. So, to create a proper home for your children is a very great work today, and it has to be done. Again, there selfishness comes. Human beings have so many such hurdles in life because I don't know why he doesn't enjoy everything. So the selfishness comes in and they will only love their own children, they will only love their own husbands, or they will love only their own wives. This doesn't create a good family. I am talking about the global family. For us, everybody is a realized soul, and their family and our family is one. But then they will create problems, talk ill, gossip. I am surprised even in Sahaja Yoga we have many women who just go on gossiping. Their style was gossip. Because I am talking about Lakshmi and Mahalakshmi, I have to warn the women because they are the ones who will create the great principles, the great symbols of Lakshmi and Mahalakshmi. So the gossiping is a very common disease even today in Sahaja. I have seen then five, six Sahajoginis meet. They go on talking. I don't know what do they talk. Never about Sahaja, never. What they talk is what's wrong with another person, who is a wrong type of a person, what we call gossip. And this gossip has created big problems for us in the collective. So best thing I would advise to keep quiet. Even when they come to my house, they talk. They have no sense that we should keep quiet. Without quietude, you cannot enjoy the cool vibrations of the divine. Just go on gossiping and talking is not a sign of very developed people. in Sahaja. That's why the first thing is that women should become much more compassionate, much more tolerant and enjoyable. Because you meet somebody, they'll start immediately telling you that is wrong with this person, this is wrong with that person. But there's no need. But they will only come and give you bad news, all kinds. But they enjoy giving the bad news, that they think they are very important. And when they think they are important, they can be very dangerous people, very dangerous. Because I think it's the women who have to work it out much more than men to understand the value of Sahaja. Because their own children are concerned. Their family is one of the units of Sahaja. I'm saying this because now I've been noticing it very common that the women in Sahaja Yoga are not up to the point as they should have been. They gossip too much. So they should take to mauna, I think, take to complete silence, not talk. Those who are really very much effective, who are doing the great work, are always quiet. They don't talk. I've seen they don't even come and see me, just receive back. While the women who think they are something special, they are the ones most dangerous. So, the power of Lakshmi that actually first falls on the shoulder of women should be Mahalakshmi's. And this one is a challenge to all the Sahajoginis to behave themselves and to become greater women than all the rest of the women of the world. We have some very, very good, very great Sahajoginis, no doubt. But their style is different and they are working out things in such a manner that it's absolutely adorable. They are just working for Sahaja. They do not bother about their personal relationships or their personal eminence. They just want to help Sahaja in every way. Then there is another Lakshmi called as Gaja Lakshmi. Actually it means, Gaja means elephant. What is the quality of an elephant is that the elephant walks with a certain gait, which is the movement on both the sides. As I've said you, I've seen people, especially women, who walk like horses, really. They just walk like horses. So once a dance teacher told me, should I start Mother a dance school? I said, better start a dance school, doesn't matter. But are you sure you can teach them to dance or they would be just galloping? I said, why? Because what I've seen of women here, that they walk like horses, I must say. How can these women who walk like horses can do dance, Indian dance especially? It's very difficult. So, now we have to see what is the gait, how you walk. Do you walk like an elephant or you walk like a horse? Especially for men. Men should not walk like elephant but should walk like horses, all right. But the worst thing that has happened is that men dress up like women and women dress up like men. Now what to do? Why this kind of a mad transformation taking place? Why do they take to such things? For what is the advantage of becoming a woman when he is a man and a woman becoming a man. That is the reason which shows that they want to have some change. Some change is important. Would like to change your dress, like to change your houses, even your sexes you want to change. But why not change your complete being through self-realization? That is very important, to understand that we are transformed. And we must have our own dignity of Sahaja Yoga. The way we behave, the way we move about and work out. My experience is that once they come to Sahaja Yoga, mostly they become very, very beautiful people. And that gradually start growing like flowers, fragrant with their compassion and love. But also there are people who do not understand how to grow. They have their own small circle into which they move, and they get just stagnated. They become dwarfed. And then such Sahaja Yogis have to leave Sahaja Yoga. So it is the responsibility of all the Sahaja Yogis to watch and see how far their mind is going. Where are they? What are they doing? How are they achieving their status as Sahaja Yoga? So these Lakshmi and Lakshmis, I would say, and also the Lakshmipatis in Sahaja Yoga have to be very different than the other people who have money. Mahalakshmi principle should give you a very sober, balanced, affectionate and loving temperament. If it doesn't give you, then you should know there's something missing. After all, you have come to Sahaja Yoga not for anything else but for your growth. And to keep that growth on, you have to acquire a sense of understanding what should be your personality, relative to others, relative to other people who are still seeking, who are still blind. We have to achieve a global emancipation. I know that's my vision is. And the other day we were counting how many projects have started. So we had to stop at 35. Already 35 projects have started in India, also in other countries. And they are only for emancipating human beings. But firstly, as I told you, to do work in Sahaja Yoga, you have to be a detached person. That is the quality of a Mahalakshmi principle. That such a person is detached. He is not attached to things which are worthless. But that doesn't mean that you take a sannyasa and run away from the families, run away from your household, run away from it. That's not detachment. That's running away. But detachment is that when you have everything, still you are detached. In the sense, you do not feel concerned about your own gain out of this. Such things can happen very easily if you really introspect. And introspection is the best way of meditation. First introspect and then meditate. Then you will grow. And the real joy of yourself, of your spirit, will really give you such enjoyment that you will not take to stupid, insignificant things. But you will become very significant people in Sahaja who will do such wonderful work that everybody will be amazed that an ordinary human being, how can he achieve such thing? How can he work it out? As I have told you before, that after realization you become extremely creative. Creative in everything, especially in giving realization to others, and also creative in your life of art, music, poetry, drama, writing, all kinds of things you do. We have seen now so many cases who have never been on the stage even, have given very great, inspiring lectures. So the creativity comes like an inspiration for others. They see you and they feel inspired. You are not the one who goes into the shadow and sits back, but openly you come out with no pride or no sort of aggression, but complete humility. And you give such beautiful feelings to others, such understanding about yourself and about the other through your collective consciousness. See about collective consciousness and other things. So many people have talked. The other day you saw it. There were so many people like Jung, and also there were other scientists and also other philosophers who have talked about it. But you have got it. You have the experience of collective consciousness. Despite that, if you are lacking behind in your progress of Sahaja Yoga, that means there's something wrong. Some sort of a load you are carrying on your head. If you have attachments, there would be loads on your head. In Sahaja Yoga, you are involved with everything and you are detached. And such a miracle happens to you, which you know very well. I don't have to describe that. So a new personality with a Mahalakshmi principle comes. Mahalakshmi principle is the one which takes you to your seeking, and when you have found out the reality, the truth, then you progress. With Mahalakshmi principle only, you get your realization. You know that very well, that through the Mahalakshmi channel only you rise and you get your realization. So, to become a great Sahajogi, you have to look after your Mahalakshmi principle. Now there are people I have seen who care for cheap popularity. I have known people who will do everything for others, do this, do that, but only for popularity. There's no essentially understood, they have not essentially understood that whatever you are doing, is it for cheap popularity? You don't have to fight an election in Sahaja. You don't have to cast your votes in election. But what happens really, the person who has that dynamism of Sahaja just comes up, everybody knows. Not talking, not impressing, not showing off, not going after cheap popularity, but growing within. For that I cannot say what you have to do. How does a tree grow by itself? You are living examples of Sahaja. So how will you grow? By yourself. By yourself you will grow, is a promise that is given to you by the Divine. But allow it to grow through introspection and meditation. And what we call complete dedication and devotion. The other day I told you about the word Shraddha. It's not just praying, it's not just having faith, but Shraddha is that you have it in your heart, the enjoyment of achievement through your devotion and dedication. That should be called as Shraddha. With that thing only it will work out. You have to have faith in yourself and faith in Sadhguru. You know you have got it. Those people were talking about it, but you have got it. You know what is collective consciousness. You know that you are in the collective consciousness. But how far you have grown into it is to be seen. It's very important. For that I need not in this short time describe to you all the qualities of the Lakshmi, but try to understand that a person who has Lakshmi principle has to have all these special qualities, otherwise he is not the worshipper of Lakshmi. And that's how I would today bless you all with the proper wisdom and the proper understanding of the Lakshmi principle through the lights which are enlightened within your heart. May God bless you.